God says, "What the world walked away from, I saved for you," and this is not a poetic line, this is a divine truth that carries weight, history, tears, and a destiny that could not be touched by rejection. My beloved soul, if you could see what heaven saw when people turned their backs on you, you would finally understand why nothing that left your life was ever a loss. It was a divine filtration. The world did not abandon you, it revealed what it was never worthy to hold. There were moments when you felt invisible, when you were overlooked, when your love was taken for granted, when your heart was mishandled, and yet something deep inside you kept whispering that this was not the end of your story. That whisper was not imagination, it was God protecting something sacred inside you. The same hands that closed doors in front of you were opening doors behind you. What you thought was being pushed away was actually being pulled closer to destiny. My beloved soul, the reason this message is reaching you now is because the season of misunderstanding is ending. You were not delayed, you were being preserved. People could not recognize your value because they were not meant to receive what you carry. The rejection you endured was a divine shield. God saw the way your heart gives without measuring, the way you love without keeping score, the way you remain faithful even when others walk away. That kind of heart cannot be placed in careless hands. Heaven stepped in where humans failed. You thought you were losing, but God was saving. You were not forgotten, you were hidden, protected from those who would have drained you, broken you, or used what was holy for selfish gain. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because this truth is what will finally heal the part of you that still wonders why you were not chosen by people who never deserved to choose you. When the world walked away, it was because they could not go where God was taking you. Your spirit was moving upward while their intentions stayed shallow. That separation was not punishment, it was preparation. Every tear you cried was collected by heaven as evidence of your endurance. Every lonely night was shaping a deeper connection with God. You were not alone, you were being recalibrated for something greater. The love you longed for, the recognition you deserved, the safety you prayed for, all of it was being stored in a place where nothing could corrupt it. My beloved soul, there is a divine compensation that comes when you remain pure in a world that rewards cruelty. You did not harden, you did not close your heart, you did not become bitter, and that is why what is coming will be so gentle, so real, so deeply aligned with who you truly are. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you, because this story is not about what you lost, it is about what was preserved for you beyond human reach. The people who left did not take your destiny with them. They only removed themselves from it. You kept walking even when it hurt, even when you doubted, even when you questioned your worth. That persistence was not accidental. It was God guiding you through the narrow path that leads to everything your soul has been asking for. You were being tested not to break you, but to reveal what could never be broken inside you. The world values what is loud, flashy, and easily replaceable, but heaven values what is rare, deep, and irreplaceable. That is why you were not easily kept by those who only wanted convenience. You were made for covenant, for depth, for a love that does not run when things become real. My beloved soul, there were people who walked away because they were afraid of the responsibility that comes with loving someone like you. They could feel your depth and it intimidated them. They sensed your truth and it exposed their falsehood. So they left. Not because you were too much, but because they were not enough to hold what God placed inside you. Do not leave yet. Heaven has more to reveal, because you need to know that every closed door was an act of divine protection. You were not being rejected, you were being redirected. There is a love, a connection, a purpose that is coming toward you that requires the exact heart you have now, not a wounded, bitter, or guarded version of you. God kept you soft so that when what was saved for you arrives, you will recognize it by the peace it brings, not by the chaos it creates. The world walked away from something it could not understand. Heaven stepped in and said, "This one is mine. This heart is too precious to be mishandled. This soul is too pure to be wasted." So God removed you from environments, from relationships, from situations that would have slowly destroyed what was meant to be celebrated. My beloved soul, you were not being isolated, you were being set apart. That is why even in your loneliness there was a strange sense of being held. Even in your confusion there was a quiet voice guiding you forward. That was not coincidence, that was God guarding what belonged to Him. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything, because what God has saved for you is not a consolation prize, it is the fulfillment of every prayer you whispered when you felt unseen. There is nothing missing in your story. There is nothing broken beyond repair. Everything that walked away made space for what was divinely assigned to stay. Your future is not behind you, it is waiting for you with open arms. And the love, the peace, the recognition that is coming will make every moment of rejection finally make sense. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something simple but powerful. If this message is touching your heart, like this and type in the comments, "I am ready to receive what God saved for me," because when you speak your readiness, heaven responds. God says, the reason you felt so deeply wounded by what left your life is because it was not just people that walked away, it was illusions, expectations, and versions of the future that were never truly meant for you. My beloved soul, there are seasons when heaven allows things to fall apart not because you failed, but because you were about to settle for something smaller than your destiny. When the world stepped back from you, it was because it could not walk into the depth that God was preparing you to enter. You were being refined for something sacred, and refinement always looks like loss before it looks like gain. The heart you carry is not ordinary. It loves in ways that are rare, it hopes in ways that are brave, and it remains loyal even when it would be easier to give up. That is why what was saved for you had to be guarded. People who do not know how to protect something precious will always mishandle it. Heaven knew that, so heaven intervened. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because this understanding is what will finally free you from the quiet self-blame you have been carrying. You did nothing wrong by loving, by trusting, by believing. You were simply ahead of those who were not ready to meet you in truth. The ones who walked away were never meant to see what you are becoming. They only knew the earlier version of you, the one still discovering their worth. God is now revealing the version of you that knows who they are. That is why the separation had to happen. Not everyone is allowed to walk into your next chapter. Some were only meant to witness your growth from a distance. My beloved soul, when you were crying over what you lost, heaven was smiling over what you were about to receive. The delay was not denial. It was divine timing aligning you with what could truly hold you. You have been asking for love that feels safe, for connection that feels real, for a place where you do not have to shrink to be accepted. God heard every word, even the ones you could not speak out loud. And while you were waiting, God was building, preparing, and protecting what belongs to you. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you, because this is not just about relationships, it is about your entire life shifting into alignment. There are blessings that require you to be alone for a while so that your spirit can be strengthened. You were learning to listen to your inner voice instead of the noise of those who never truly saw you. That solitude was not abandonment, it was instruction. It was God teaching you how to recognize what is real. When what has been saved for you arrives, it will not confuse you. It will feel like home. My beloved soul, there is a difference between someone who wants you and someone who is assigned to you. The world offered you once, but heaven is bringing you what is assigned. That is why everything that was not aligned had to fall away. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where you need to be for what is coming next. Every disappointment was trimming away what could not grow with you. Every goodbye was making room for a hello that will last. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, because the peace you have been craving is closer than you think. God is not preparing you for something temporary. What has been saved for you is rooted in truth, in commitment, in mutual respect, and in a love that does not fade when things become real. You were spared from heartbreak that would have destroyed your trust. You were protected from attachments that would have drained your spirit. Even the pain you felt had purpose. It was sharpening your discernment. Now you can see clearly what you could not see before. Now you know what you will no longer accept. My beloved soul, you are not difficult to love. You are just deep, and deep things require those who are willing to dive. The ones who walked away were standing on the surface, afraid of what lay beneath. God is bringing someone who is not afraid of your depth, who is not intimidated by your emotions, who will not run when your heart speaks. That is what has been saved for you. And it is worth every moment you waited. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything, because you are about to realize that nothing in your life was wasted. Even the broken pieces were being used to build something beautiful. The love you gave that was not returned taught you how to love yourself. The hope you held that was not fulfilled taught you how to trust God instead of circumstances. You are wiser now, stronger now, more aware now. And that is exactly who you need to be to receive what heaven has prepared. My beloved soul, do not look back with regret. Look back with gratitude. Every door that closed was guiding you toward the one that will finally open. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are chosen, protected, and deeply loved. What the world walked away from was not lost. It was placed into God's hands, and God never loses what He holds. God says, there is a reason why even after everything that fell apart, your heart is still capable of believing. That is not weakness, my beloved soul, that is divine design. When the world walked away, it tried to convince you that hope was dangerous, that love was something you should guard against, that opening your heart again would only lead to more pain, yet something within you refused to close. That something is the part of you that God Himself planted. It is the part that knows your story is not finished. You were not meant to become cold, you were meant to become clear. The distance between you and what was saved for you is not measured by time, it is measured by readiness. Heaven has been quietly shaping your inner world so that when what belongs to you arrives, you will recognize it not through excitement alone, but through peace. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because this truth will heal the fear that still whispers that you might be forgotten. You are not waiting in vain. You are being aligned. Every unanswered prayer was not a rejection, it was a redirection towards something that could actually satisfy your soul. You have been learning how to sit with yourself, how to listen to your own intuition, how to trust the still small voice that guides you when everything else is silent. That voice is God preparing you for what is next. The people who left could not walk with you into this deeper awareness. They only knew how to love you when it was easy, not when it was real. God removed them not to punish you, but to protect the sacredness of what you are becoming. My beloved soul, you were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to be met in it. What has been saved for you will not require you to chase, convince, or prove your worth. It will see you, choose you, and stay. That is the difference between what the world offers and what heaven provides. Stay with me till the end. Something powerful is waiting for you, because you are about to understand that the loneliness you felt was a holy space. It was where God could finally speak to you without interruption. In that quiet, you discovered your strength. In that stillness, you found your voice. In that waiting, you realized you are enough even when no one else is standing beside you. That realization is what makes you ready for a love that does not complete you, but walks with you as you already are. My beloved soul, there is nothing wrong with wanting to be chosen, but there is something powerful about knowing you are already chosen by God. That is why you did not fall apart when others left. You bent, you cried, you questioned, but you did not break. Heaven was holding you together even when you could not feel it. What has been saved for you is not just a person or a situation, it is a season of your life where things finally make sense. Where you no longer have to wonder why you were different, why you felt deeper, why you saw more. You were designed that way because you are meant to live a life that is richer, fuller, and more meaningful than what you have known before. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, because the clarity you are stepping into is about to transform the way you see your past. You will no longer view it as a series of losses, but as a journey of divine preparation. Every heartache refined you. Every disappointment sharpened you. Every goodbye moved you closer to what was truly meant for you. My beloved soul, what you are becoming now could not have happened if everything had stayed the same. Comfort would have kept you small. Familiarity would have kept you stuck. God disrupted your life because He loves you too much to leave you where you were. And even though it hurt, even though it confused you, it was all leading you here, to this moment of awakening. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything, because you are about to realize that you were never behind. You are on a path that only you could walk. The people who left were not stolen from you. They were released so that you could step fully into who you are meant to be. And what is coming will not feel like something you have to fight for. It will feel like something that flows naturally into your life, because it is aligned with your soul. My beloved soul, trust the process you cannot yet see. Trust the love that is being prepared for you beyond your understanding. What the world walked away from was not rejected by heaven. It was treasured, protected, and reserved. And you are closer now than you have ever been. God says, there is a sacred shift happening inside you right now, even if you cannot fully explain it. My beloved soul, you may feel more sensitive, more aware, more in tune with your own emotions than ever before, and that is not weakness, that is alignment. When the world walked away from you, it left behind an empty space, but that space was not meant to remain empty. It was meant to be filled with truth. You are no longer trying to fit into places that do not fit you. You are no longer begging to be understood by those who only see the surface. God has been gently pulling you inward so that you can finally meet yourself without distraction. That meeting is the doorway to everything that has been saved for you. Do not skip this moment, my beloved soul, because this is where the old version of you quietly steps aside and the new one begins to lead. You are no longer defined by who left, by what failed, or by what did not work. You are defined by the courage it took to keep going when nothing made sense. That courage is what heaven responds to. When you chose not to give up on yourself, even when others gave up on you, you activated a promise that could not be broken. What has been saved for you is not just waiting on the outside, it is resonating with who you are becoming on the inside. That is why everything feels different now. You are not desperate for connection anymore. You are discerning. You are not afraid of being alone anymore. You are aware of your worth. And that awareness is magnetic. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you, because the way you love is about to be met with the way you deserve to be loved. There is a divine balance being restored in your life. What you gave and did not receive will come back to you in a form that does not hurt. What you invested and did not see grow will now begin to flourish. God is not wasteful. Nothing you poured out was lost. It was planted in a future you could not yet see. My beloved soul, you were faithful in the unseen, and heaven honors what is done in the quiet. The people who walked away were not strong enough to walk with you through this transformation. They knew you before, but they do not know who you are now. And who you are now is powerful, gentle, wise, and deeply rooted in truth. That is who what was saved for you is waiting to meet. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, because the peace you are starting to feel is a sign that things are finally aligning. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to those who do not listen. You no longer chase what runs from you. You no longer settle for crumbs when you were created for abundance. This is not arrogance, it is awakening. And this awakening is what allows you to receive what was protected for you all along. My beloved soul, you are not too much. You are just finally too true to be small. God has removed you from places that could not contain your growth. He has lifted you out of environments that would have stunted your spirit. And even though you did not understand it at the time, every separation was an elevation. You are standing on a higher ground now, able to see further, feel deeper, and choose better. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything, because you are about to realize that your future is not built on what you lost, but on what you learned. You learned how to love without losing yourself. You learned how to hope without ignoring reality. You learned how to trust God when nothing else felt safe. Those lessons are priceless, and they are the foundation of what is coming. My beloved soul, what the world walked away from was not abandoned by heaven. It was guarded until the right moment. And that moment is unfolding now. The connections you are about to form will not be based on need, but on mutual recognition. The love you are about to experience will not be chaotic, but calm. The opportunities that are about to open will not drain you, they will expand you. Everything that was meant for you is finding its way to you, and it will arrive not with noise, but with certainty. You will know when it comes, because it will feel like something you have always been waiting for, even when you did not know what you were waiting for. God says, now you are stepping into the final understanding of why everything had to happen the way it did. My beloved soul, what once felt like a long season of waiting was actually a sacred season of becoming. You were not standing still, even when it looked that way on the outside. Your spirit was stretching, your awareness was deepening, and your heart was learning the difference between attachment and true connection. The world walked away from you because it could not keep up with the pace of your growth. Heaven stayed because it knew what you were turning into. This is why you no longer resonate with the things that once held your attention. You have outgrown them, not because they were bad, but because they were temporary. What has been saved for you is permanent. It is rooted in who you are, not in who you used to be. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment, because this realization is the key that unlocks your peace. You no longer need closure from the past when you understand its purpose. You no longer need answers from people when you have clarity from God. Every unanswered question, every silent goodbye, every ending that felt unfair was quietly moving you toward a beginning that would feel right. You were not meant to stay where you were tolerated. You were meant to arrive where you are celebrated. And that place, that love, that life is now within reach. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you, because you are about to feel a shift that is not dramatic, but deeply real. It is the shift where you no longer look back with pain, but with gratitude. Where you no longer wonder what went wrong, but smile at how far you have come. God has been weaving together every thread of your story into something beautiful, even the ones that looked tangled. What the world could not see, heaven was carefully preserving. My beloved soul, you are not just moving into a better season, you are moving into the one you were always meant to live. There is a lightness returning to your heart. There is a calm settling in your mind. There is a quiet confidence growing in your spirit. These are signs that you are aligned. You no longer need to force things to happen. What is meant for you is already on its way. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal, because the love you have been searching for outside of yourself has already begun within. You have learned to sit with your own thoughts without fear. You have learned to honor your own needs without guilt. You have learned to trust your own intuition without apology. That self-trust is what makes you ready for what has been saved for you. It will not come to complete you, but to walk with you in the wholeness you now carry. My beloved soul, the future is not something you have to chase. It is something that is gently meeting you where you are. Every step you took in faith, every time you chose hope over despair, every time you stayed open when it would have been easier to close, it all mattered. Heaven was watching. Heaven was responding. And now heaven is delivering. If you remain till the end, the final word will change everything, because you are about to realize that you were never broken. You were becoming. You were never abandoned. You were being led. You were never overlooked. You were being protected. What the world walked away from was not unwanted. It was simply too precious to be given to the wrong hands. And now, in this moment, you are ready to receive what was always meant to be yours. My beloved soul, trust what you feel rising inside you. Trust the peace that no longer depends on circumstances. Trust the joy that no longer needs permission. Your story is not ending, it is unfolding. And the next chapter is written with love, with purpose, and with a divine care that will make every tear, every wait, and every goodbye finally make sense.